Climate change is one of the most pressing concerns faced by modern society. It seems as if almost everything that leads to technological development for humans harms the environment. The ease in life acquired through technology is acquired by destroying the environment. So what's the solution to climate change? People keep talking about climate change. What if I tell you that there are actions, if undertaken by everyone, which would help the climate crisis significantly? As you're aware, climate change is an urgent global issue that demands immediate attention and action. With the Earth experiencing rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and ecological imbalances, it's crucial that we collectively tackle this challenge to ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. Today, we'll explore the key strategies and actions required to address climate change effectively. Let's get right into it. So, we're going to talk about a variety of different things that could significantly help to reduce the climate crisis. The most important thing we need to understand is that a major contributor of climate change is our carbon emissions. So the first step that we need to take is mitigating greenhouse gas emissions. So what are greenhouse gas emissions? Greenhouse gas emissions is a process in which gases are released into the Earth's atmosphere that have a potential to trap heat and contribute to the greenhouse effect. This leads to potential climate hazards such as global warming and climate change. The gases known as greenhouse gases include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases, and others. So reducing greenhouse gas emissions is fundamental to combating climate change. Governments, industries, and individuals need to work together to make a collective push towards shifting to an economy that relies less on carbon-intensive activities. This transition is crucial for combating climate change and ensuring a sustainable future. In an effort to reduce greenhouse emissions, what we can do is reject them and try embracing renewable energy. It's essential to invest in and promote renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power because these sources are abundant, clean, and have the potential to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Governments can incentivize the adoption of renewable energy technologies, while individuals and industries can actively choose to use renewable energy for their power needs. However, it's not just embracing renewable energy that's required, it's also important to enhance energy efficiency. Improving energy efficiency in various sectors is a key step towards reducing carbon emissions. This includes implementing energy-efficient technologies and practices in buildings, transportation systems, and manufacturing processes. By using energy more efficiently, we can minimize wastage and decrease the overall demand for energy, thereby reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Another thing that we can do effectively to reduce our carbon emissions is transition to electric vehicles. Encouraging the widespread adoption of electric vehicles is vital in reducing emissions from the transportation sector, which is a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Governments can provide incentives and develop infrastructure, such as charging stations, to support the transition to EVs. We can choose to purchase electric vehicles, and industries can invest in developing electric vehicle technology and fleets. Something that the government can do additionally would be to regulate emissions from industries. If the governments would establish emissions standards and put in place mechanisms to monitor and enforce compliance, we'd see a significant decline in the amount of carbon emissions. By encouraging the adoption of cleaner technologies, promoting carbon capture and storage, and supporting research and development in low-carbon industrial processes, we could be successful in achieving emission reduction targets. Now, you might not be aware of this, but agriculture is a significant source of greenhouse gas emissions, particularly methane from livestock and rice cultivation. So, promoting sustainable agricultural practices, such as optimizing fertilizer use, improving manure management, and adopting climate-smart farming techniques can help minimize emissions. Governments can provide support and incentives to farmers to transition towards sustainable agriculture, while consumers can choose to support sustainable and locally sourced food. Apart from focusing on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, it's equally important to adapt to the impact of climate change. Building resilience is crucial to minimize the negative effect and ensure the well-being of communities and ecosystems. It's important that the government develops climate-resilient infrastructure. Now, you might be wondering why, but this is essential that we do it. That's because developing infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, floods, and heat waves, is essential. Through implementing climate-resilient infrastructure, we can reduce vulnerability and enhance the ability to bounce back from climate-related disasters much faster than normal. Disasters would seem much less daunting than before. Establishing effective early warning systems for natural disasters is essential for enhancing preparedness and response. Early warning systems can save lives and minimize the socio-economic impacts of climate-related disasters. Because of climate change, there is a constant change in rainfall patterns. This changing precipitation patterns pose challenges to water availability and management. So what can we do to fight this? By implementing efficient water management systems, including rainwater harvesting, water recycling, and improved irrigation techniques, we can cope with water scarcity and variability. Additionally, adopting sustainable water practices at individual and community levels is crucial for long-term water security. The environment is harmed significantly to ensure our survival and for our interests. So it's crucial we protect the environment that remains unharmed and restore the part that we had a part in destroying. So it's extremely vital that in this fight against climate change, we conserve and restore our ecosystem. Protecting and restoring ecosystems such as forests, wetlands, and coral reefs is vital for the resilience and their ability to act as natural buffers against climate change impacts. Forests absorb carbon dioxide, wetlands help to regulate water flow and provide habitat, and coral reefs protect coastlines from storm surges. Conserving and restoring these ecosystems not only supports biodiversity, but also enhances the capacity to adapt to climate change. Adapting to the impact of climate change is a continuous process that requires collaboration among governments, organizations, and individuals to ensure a sustainable and resilient future for all. However, one of the things that's crucial for winning the fight against climate change is if the entire world comes together to fight against this issue as one entity. What we need is action-driven individuals working towards the same goal, and that is sustaining life on Earth for long term by preserving our world. It cannot just be done by you and I alone. It requires individuals, governments of different countries, the help of UN, and just global cooperation. So to battle climate change, we need to work towards strengthening international cooperation. This might sound dreamy or perhaps not make sense, but let me tell you, in this fight against the climate crisis, it's imperative that international cooperation is attained. Enhancing international cooperation is vital in addressing the global challenge of climate change. It is crucial for nations to come together and collaborate on climate action to achieve meaningful results. Encouraging nations to fulfill their commitments under international agreements such as the Paris Agreement is essential. This involves urging countries to meet their emission reduction targets, implement national climate action plans, and regularly report on progress. Holding nations accountable to their commitments ensures collective efforts towards mitigating climate change. Facilitating technology transfer and providing financial assistance to developing nations is crucial. Developed countries can support developing nations in adopting clean technologies, renewable energy solutions, and climate-resilient infrastructure. This assistance enables developing countries to address climate change while advancing sustainable development. It's also important to engage in diplomatic efforts to foster cooperation on climate action at a global level. This involves diplomatic negotiations, dialogue, and consensus building among nations to forge agreements and frameworks that address climate change. Individuals, communities, governments, and businesses must unite to foster a sustainable future for all. A lot of words have been exchanged. However, I believe enough words have been said. The time to act is now, and by taking collective action, we can create a positive and resilient world for future generations where the impacts of climate change are minimized and the health of our planet is restored. Let's be the generation that makes the difference. That's it for today's video. Tell us what you think that we can do more to contribute towards fighting against climate change in the comments section below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you like this video, click on the link on your screen to catch up on our next video about climate change water. Ring the bell icon to be notified when you'll see us next.